Hello everyone, I'm here to create my first ever podcast about the authors of Romeo and Juliet, Animal Farm, and The Pack. I'm here to show you guys my understanding from their text and the message I've learned. William Shakespeare's novel of Romeo and Juliet taught me that young love and family feuds can both end terribly. Shakespeare showed that if you do have young love and it does not grow, it will end bad. For example, when Juliet fake died for Romeo, they rushed into plans. It ended with them both dying. They were young, they could have waited, or they may have both found a different love. It also taught me that long family feuds can affect people in the families. For example, since the Capulets and the Montagues family feud lasted so long, it became a lot more vicious. When Juliet realized that she was in love with Romeo, she couldn't say or do anything about it other than make risky plans because her parents hated Romeo's family. It resulted by making Juliet cry and stress at the age of 14. If the feud ended, they would have been married and living an easy life. From Romeo and Juliet, I have learned that never keep grudges because they can come back and hurt you, and then never rush into choices quickly. George Orwell's novel The Animal Farm taught me that communist ideals cannot work without using excessive power. Also that political systems can easily be corrupted by hungry people. Napoleon acts like a dictator and leads the farm and the animals. He has the power over the animals so they have no freedom. They can't rebel against him even if they wanted to. Since it was a communism and Napoleon was the dictator, he owned everyone and everything. The ending leads to other animals not knowing which ones are humans and pigs. The message I learned from Animal Farm was that communism never ends right. Before I tell you the message about The Pack, which was my final evaluation novel, let me tell you a summary of the book. This book is a true story about teen lovers. There are two families named the Hearts and the Golds. Both of the families are very close to each other for about 18 years now. The novel starts with the Hearts and the Golds out for Chinese food, which they do every Friday night. Once they receive home, they get a phone call from the hospital saying that their kids are in very critical condition. By the way, the boy belongs to the Hearts family named Chris, and the girl belongs to the Gold family named Emily. The Golds and Hearts rush to the hospital together. Chris is in a very bad condition, and Emily has been shot in the forehead and has died. Then there's a flashback in the book to when the Hearts and the Golds have met, and when Chris and Emily were just born. The novel switches back to the present where Chris remains in the hospital for the next couple of days, and receives visits from detectives and police officers who are assigned to the case. Emily's funeral also took place. Melanie Gold, aka Emily's mother, no longer wants to speak to the Hearts. However, her husband, Michael, wishes to remain in contact and even testify on Chris's behalf in court. This causes strain on the Gold's relationship and allows Michael to grow very close to Gus Hart, Chris's mom.
Meanwhile, Chris is in jail awaiting his trial. His defense attorney, named Jordan, works with Chris often to compile an argument for his case. It is while he is in jail that Chris learns Emily was pregnant. He was so shocked by the news that he fainted and ended up in the jail's hospital. He could not understand why Emily would not tell him. He would have been more than willing to help Emily raise the baby and even marry her. This incident helps Jordan in his defense.
Emily told Chris often that she wanted to kill herself, but he rarely ever took her seriously. After a while, Chris realized that she was serious and agreed not to tell anyone. He also promised that he would kill himself as well, making it a suicidal pact. In the end, it is revealed that Emily's death wasn't really part of a suicidal pact. Emily asked Chris to kill her because she couldn't do it herself. Chris tried to talk Emily out of it, but she raised his hand to make the gun point toward her forehead in the end to bring out her misery. Emily placed her hand on the trigger over Chris's. This causes the jury to find Chris not guilty. The novel ends with Chris returning home and the Gold's family moving away. Since you guys know a bit about the book, I could tell you the message that I think the book tells. I think the message about the novel is pressure. Emily was put under so much pressure because she was pregnant. She didn't want to tell anyone because she was too scared to let her parents know that she was pregnant at the age of 17. In the past, her parents had too much high expectations for Emily, so that's why she was put under so much pressure to announce that she was pregnant to anyone. Since she was so scared, she committed suicide. I think Jodi's message was that if teens don't get the right motivation, they can be put under a lot of pressure.